22 Dodge Ram is now back and strapped to the Mustang dyno. Guys, if you missed the very first time we dynoed this truck, it laid down an impressive, well, check out the numbers here. Just a little over 300 horsepower. This is a non-HO unit, exactly what we wanted and ordered. Guys, we've been holding off on the compound build. I'm ready to get some power out of this thing. But guys, we've got power today. This truck is now powered by our C1 HP package. What's that mean? Still has a factory turbocharger. Still has a factory high pressure fuel system. But we've unlocked its true potential utilizing those parts. But how much? Well, we're gonna push it and we're gonna share it with you guys, because that's the most exciting part about this. This is a 90% package for everybody. The hardworking guy, the daily driver, the guy that just wants his truck to sound badass. Now guys, let's see what kind of power we've unlocked and let's get this thing underway. It's dyno time. So guys, we just finished up making our first dyno run that you guys got to see, our C1 HP package on our 22 Ram. Keep in mind, this is a non-HO unit. Now, I want to start from the beginning. I want to take you guys along the process so you and I both understand where we started at on horsepower and torque and now where we are today. We want to add 100 real horsepower worth of fuel to the truck. I want to see, you guys want to see it on the graph and understand it. So let's go back to the past. When we first dynoed this truck laid down 325 real horsepower, 723 feet-pound of torque. Respectively, I think those are terrible numbers. But to you guys, they're right on the money. Okay, now it laid that peak horsepower and peak torque all the way at 2,370 RPMs and 2,352 RPMs in the torque. So, down low in the RPMs, it laid down its maximum torque. Let's get away from that. Let's talk about now lengthening that power band, adding 100 real horsepower to the truck, and what did it think about it? Let's go to today's dyno graph that you guys just got to see. So right here, we'll go to today's dyno run, click on that. Okay, the truck ended up making 419 real horsepower and 844 feet-pound of torque. Now we're getting into some power, not big power, but we're getting into at least a platform we can work with. Your money's worth when you go to buy these trucks. Now here's the fun part. It's like a rubber band. We know that turbocharger can make more power than just at 2,300 RPMs. We ended up making our peak horsepower at 2,790 RPMs. That means over here in the graph, this truck just kept pulling. That's funner to drive. Okay, what about torque? Well, we lengthened our torque. Peak torque at 2565. So the torque actually lengthened. Just a little over 130 feet-pound of torque we added to the truck. So we got 100 horsepower worth of fuel to it. We picked up roughly 100 horsepower on the HP and 131 feet-pound of torque. Now, what did the transmission think about it? Because we're starting it down low. We want this dude to grunt on the dyno because we want to get a true number and give it back to you guys. I started this run all the way at 2,000 RPMs. down low. We've got line pressure to the transmission. We're not gonna slip a clutch. We get on the truck, boom, the VGT does its job. It comes up and it just keeps running. Torque, you can see this little number right here. This blue dot, that is torque. So our peak torque right here at that 2563, we're making good torque when we lengthen it. Horsepower just kept running all the way over here to that 2800 range. So guys, the truck ultimately did like it from a dynograph standpoint. But now let's take a look at the ECU calibrations, meaning what did the boost pressure, where were we at? What about line pressure? All of those critical things that you and I both can comprehend and look at when we're driving the truck. So when owning a 22 Ram, you've got the factory VGT turbocharger on there. What is one function that is a must-have? Well, the exhaust brake. And where did you guys get to hear that in my dyno run? We're coming up on the dyno run, but at the end of it, you hear this. That is the exhaust brake. That is the vanes engaging, slowing down the truck. It's a must-have. But we've got two people that own these trucks. One, which I fall underneath this category, the mall crawler. I'm just gonna drive the truck, put it on the trailer, and go to shows and hopefully make some good power, right? But number two, it's the guy that actually uses this truck. He pulls a big ass trailer. He's got an excavator on there, a backhoe. Hell, I don't know, he may be hauling a cotton picker. But when he uses that function, it has to work, and we wanted to make for sure it worked on our trucks. Now we're down to the parameters. The two that I want to focus on today when adding 100 ruble horsepower's boost and drive pressure. Boost pressure, well, how much was it? 30 PSI. That means we had 30 PSI of boost pressure on the back side of the intake valve ready to jump in the cylinder and make power. That's pretty good. Now to compare the 4th gen trucks, we would make over 500 ruble horsepower at 36 PSI. So we got a couple pounds of boost pressure to play with to have an equal match of the 4th gen. But now drive pressure. Drive pressure is the one thing that in a perfect world, I'd like to see a 1-to-1 ratio. What do we end up today? Drive pressure here, 67 PSI. I don't really like that, but it's what comes equipped on this truck. It's what we have to work with. These trucks are built to handle that kind of pressure in a factory standpoint and when you upgrade a little power. So they can handle it, but we're at a 2-to-1 ratio. Not very efficient. How do we get that efficiency to go back to like a 1-to-1? Well, you could swap out, you could go S400 turbocharger, you could go mod VGT. I'm gonna go compounds and hopefully maybe, who knows, go big single. But that's me, guys. So in a perfect world, we would like to see those numbers get down at least to a 1.5, to 1. That'd be awesome, but we're working with this. So guys, we've stated we want to go to that 500 ruble horsepower. We've got a couple more pounds of boost to go. But what happens to our drive pressure when we add boost and we add fuel? So 500 ruble horsepower is the mark to hit with our 22 Ram. The 4th gen trucks would deliver that. It wouldn't be a PBP video without trying to set a goal and actually going for it. We know we've got about 6 more PSI of boost. This is where you guys want to tune in with us next week because Dart here, we're going to push it to its newfound power. We're going to add a little fuel. We're going to add a little boost. We might throw a little timing on top of there. We just want to keep the pistons inside the engines. We know you Duramax guys can really just build those trucks up and they're 1,000 horsepower capable, but this is a 5th gen Ram. We got to be realistic. We've got factory turbocharger to work with. But guys, on a serious note, we're going to push this truck. We want that 500 ruble horsepower. If you're an owner of one of these and you want to go to that next level, well, next week's going to be my time to shine with D'Artagnan. Like, subscribe to the channel. See you next week here at Point Blank Performance.